Good morning, everybody. How we doing today on this fine Friday Eve? Let's see if we can get this going. All right, awesome. Actually, maybe lift it up so you don't see my backpack. There we go. You still see, as you can see here, I come in and I change very quickly. I'm just in my office from my runs. You can see the corners of my backpack and my sweatshirt. Maybe I'll go move those out of frame so we don't have to worry about that. Yep, I've got the epitome of a man's office. Like literally just whatever I need that's nearby. I'm in and out. I'm in a hoodie. I'm out of a hoodie. I'm in meetings. I'm out of meetings. Right. Maybe I'm listening to music. Maybe I'm vibing out. But what's nice is that when you have the options, you can make your life what you want it, make your space what you want it. So I definitely have like the most penultimate male space in here, where it's just kind of stuff thrown all over the place, books open. But it's where things get done. It's my little haven. It's where I feel comfortable. And speaking of feeling comfortable, here we are for the pre-market prep session today, October 19th, 2023. Being here each and every day to make sure that we continue to feel comfortable operating in markets, right? That's what we're here to do. Establish a means of consistency. Consistency beats out everything, right? Consistency beats hard work when hard work fails to work hard, or whatever it is, right? Whatever the saying goes. You're here to establish consistency, and that always wins out. So I'm happy to be here this morning, and we're aiming to get 1% better, as always, going over the important news, notes, trade ideas, information, analysis, data, right? Going over all of that stuff, which is so important when it comes to laying the groundwork for execution in markets. So good morning, everybody. Vivian, Alicia, Michelle, Detrice, Coco, Andrea, Luke. Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you here, whether you're joining us, live or from the future. Even if you are, make sure you drop that one in the chat, signifying your intention to get 1% better. That's all we're trying to do. You do that consistently, you can see a lot of things change, right? But you've got to be all in. You can't say, oh man, I'm not with this whole, like, this is so corny. Like, oh, I don't want to, it's not, I don't want to dropping a one in the chat like this, that, and the third. Do you want to achieve your goals, right? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to feel confident? If you aren't dealing with stuff that, feels you or pushes you enough to change, then you're not uncomfortable enough, right? At the end of the day, when you think about the ultimate self that you want to be, the ultimate person you want to be, they probably do a lot of stuff that you consider now currently to be corny, right? But they also have the gall and the nerve to do a lot of things that currently you're too scared to do, right? So if being corny is what's necessary in order to establish a confidence that I need to move forward and execute in the way that I see my best self executing, I'm going to be corny, right? We're literally only here for one life. We're here for a twinkle in time. We're a grain of sand in the midst of the most vast ocean possible, right? So in the grand scheme of things, embarrassment does not matter. Corniness does not matter, right? None of that matters. I don't care the fact that I'd get up, move my sweatshirt during the middle of the stream. You guys know me. Because once that clicks in life, I'm here for myself and those that I love. It's as simple as that. Nobody's going to remember, oh man, that person used to start their morning off with positivity. What a nerd. No, right? This is where you want to be. Those are the people in life that are successful. So if you, are going about and you have a daily routine that isn't working for you, it's important that you look into changing that. And the pre-market prep is probably a good place to start. So without further news, top news, we're starting off with Tesla and Tesla earnings, and specifically Cybertruck woes. Now, Tesla initially moved slightly higher in after-hours trading on Wednesday after posting Q3 results that were just under estimates, while margins continue to shrink. Tesla's deliveries fell 6.7% sequentially, hurt by planned downtimes for factory upgrades, although the automaker still expects full-year deliveries of 1.8 million vehicles. However, the stock dropped 4.2% after CEO Elon Musk tried to rein in expectations on the Cybertruck. This is something that we talked about yesterday during our session pre-market, in that really what we're going to be focused on is any more updates about the Cybertruck, right? Since that's been something that we've been promised pretty much since we've been promised flying cars on the Jetsons. So in terms of outlook, it's looking pretty dim. Quote, we dug our own grave with Cybertruck, Musk conceded, warning that, quote, there will be enormous challenges in reaching volume production with the Cybertruck and then in making a Cybertruck cash flow positive. So pretty much everything about the Cybertruck right now is looking like an egg, right? A big old zero. It looks like they're going to have problems scaling with production, as well as literally making it profitable. So they're going to have problems producing it, mass producing it, and it being profitable. This just all sounds like a horrible business idea and one that they should probably drop. But the issue is now there's so much hype around it. It's been building for a decade. So it's like he feels like he probably can't just throw it out the window, but that would probably be their best option at this point. Musk added that it will likely take 12 to 18 months before the truck is a significant positive cash flow contributor. The downbeat comments dragged Chinese electric vehicle makers Hong Kong listed shares BYD and Li Auto, ticker LI, fell about 4% each. XPeng, ticker XPEV, declined 9%, while NIO, however you say it, was down 8%. Now, e-truck roadblocks. Tesla is not alone in facing roadblocks in its electric truck journey. This week, GM delayed the opening of its second electric truck plant in Michigan. Ford temporarily cut one of 3 shifts at the Michigan plant tasked with building the F-150 Lightnings and had previously pushed back its EV production target. And then some analysts believe these challenges present an opportunity for Rivian Automotive to build up its electric truck reputation. The Cybertruck is expected to challenge the Rivian R1T, Rivian's R1T, and then Ford's F-150 Lightning and GM's Chevrolet Silverado EV. In terms of commentary, quote, given Musk's recession playbook of prioritizing vehicle sales over profitability, an upcoming Cybertruck launch and subsequent ramp, Tesla's margins are likely to stay under pressure in the medium term. So in terms of like guidance, right, and outlook, this is kind of what's being expected. He's saying like, hey, our earnings is not good now. And I think what really dropped the stock is that him basically saying, since we're going to struggle with profitability on the Cybertruck and struggle with production, earnings might struggle over the course of the next, quarter or two as well, right? That was really what was the big takeaway with Tesla's earnings. Not just that they had a bad report card now, but that report card might continue to underwhelm in the immediate future. Let's see here. In terms of investing group leader Ahan Vashi, he has advised long-term investors to hold out for a better entry point, talking about Tesla, to initiate or increase bullish positions. Livy Investment Research said the recent sell-off in Tesla was a result of waning confidence in the company's fundamental prospects, cautioning that there is, quote, limited near-term respite. In terms of energy news here, more consolidation. Devon Energy, ticker DVN, is considering major acquisition targets as it seeks to gain scale in U.S. shale and has held preliminary talks in recent months about a combination with Marathon Oil. We love Marathon Oil, MRO, right? Devon has also been eyeing Crown Rock, a Permian Basin producer led by Texas billionaire Timothy Dunn, that has been exploring a potential $10 billion sale. If either deal goes through, it would be Devon's largest since its $2.6 billion takeover of WPX Energy. The update comes just a week after ExxonMobil, ticker XOM, said it will buy Pioneer Natural Resources, ticker PXD, for $59.5 billion, a deal that analysts applauded. In any case, Seeking Alpha analyst UFD Capital believes Devon could be an attractive acquisition target. So Devon is looking to acquire possibly Marathon, possibly Crown Rock, and possibly, let's see here, and then ExxonMobil is looking like it could buy Pioneer Natural Resources. And then also they're saying that Devon looks like it could be an attractive acquisition target. So maybe Devon swallows up Marathon and something else swallows up Devon Energy. I don't know, but it's looking like one of those iPhone games right now in the energy sector where there's a lot of consolidation happening across the board where, these companies are looking to acquire other companies and grow bigger while they can. In terms of like trading, you could take some speculative flyers on MRO and PXD, right? Just off the chance that they get acquired. In terms of like technicals, we could check in and see, how they're doing. MRO and the technicals, right? Oil has been pushing given the war crisis going on right now over in Israel. So, MRO, I do like on the daily just above 27.64. It's already above that area, right? So you kind of want to look maybe more shorter term. I like it above that on the weekly, by the way, not the daily. But yeah, MRO kind of in a weird technical spot. It could come back. It's been slowing down. We put in a shooting star 2 sessions ago. So in terms of that, right, I'm not really seeing anything that's like glaring from the technical standpoint that would make me really want to be involved. PXD has been pushing, right? Got a nice, daily bull flag breakout and it's been pushing. Of course, that has already happened, right? It's been kind of chugging along for a bit. So really on the, acquisition front, it's kind of like, okay, if you want to take a flyer on one of these companies potentially being acquired, right, then you can maybe like 2024 calls as long as you're using some profit. You want to say, hey, Pioneer might get acquired. If it does, the stock is going to jump, right? Probably gap up. And you can go ahead and get like some mid 2024 calls off of that speculation, but that should not be like a real play. You should not be doing that as like a way, as like a true play. That's like a flyer, a lotto ticket, right? This is like for fun, speculative type, interests. For Pioneer Natural Resources, PXD, if we can retrace 245.23 on the weekly, then that's a nice spot to get into longs on PXD, right? Because we got a nice little weekly bull flag that fired on them after we put in a very nice weekly hammer. So we're approaching price target number one, longer term, right? Weekly price target 258.42 on PXD. But if we can come back down and again retrace that 245.23, maybe set an alert on that bad boy, right? That would be a great spot to get into PXD long calls, right? So a few months out. So I'll set an alert on that. PXD retrace weekly bull flag breakout. And again, that's at 245.23. So if PXD retraces 245.23, you can slide in some calls 3 months out, maybe 6 months out, ride those up based off the technicals, but also based off the fact they might get acquired, could end up being, a nice little payday there on PXD. Shorter term, do we have anything shorter term that looks good on them as well? We can see if we can work something out. So it looks like they fired a nice hourly bull flag above 253.02. We might retrace that here, looking like we can retrace that at open. So maybe setting a little alert there on PXD, retracing 253.02. If we hold that on the hourly, right, we can turn around and push. So maybe set a little break or a little alert on PXD as well. 1 minute chart, 253.02. PXD retraced, hourly bull flag breakout, right? And we can see what occurs there. What else do we got going on in the neighborhood? Now, in terms of media news, pushing forward, subscriber surge. We're talking Netflix earnings. Netflix soared 12.5% in post-market action on Wednesday after it posted Q3 profit that topped estimates, saw its best subscriber growth in years, and confirmed price hikes. The company added 8.76 million global paid subscribers, easily topping the consensus estimate of 6.2 million ads, and launched a 247.15 million memberships. Launched at 247 million memberships, higher than the 244 million expected. The subscriber surge was a result of, quote, paid sharing, steady programming, and the ongoing expansion of streaming globally, Netflix said. Investing group leader Sestry and Capital Research said management's outlook of further revenue growth and higher margins suggests scale and better revenue yield from content assets. So this was pretty masterful in terms of expectations by Netflix. Remember, Netflix had their report that came out 2 weeks ago, that talked about how they weren't seeing as much of a bump in revenue as they expected from their ad tier. So they were like replacing one of their executives, right? Firing him and finding another one. That really set weak and low expectations for Netflix in terms of earnings, which was smart on their part because what did it make it easy for them to do? Right? It made them look like a smash play when they beat earnings. If they said, hey, yeah, we're looking strong and, this, that, and the third, then the bar would have been set really high and they might not have moved this much based off of earnings. But now, since they set the bar really low for themselves, and all the reports yesterday were talking about how Netflix isn't focusing as much on subscriber growth, they're focusing more on other metrics that show that they're making more money, right? They're like, okay, is the paid tier working better? They like really tried to downplay the fact that they might have subscriber numbers that were worse than expected. And that was all for sure a game. It was for sure a ploy because they blew their sub numbers out of the water, right? And Netflix jumped 12.5% as a result. So pay attention, right? It's important. Expectations are always the biggest thing when it comes to stock market trading and investing. Always stock market expectations, because the mismatch between those expectations and reality is what equates to large moves that happen in the stock market. So good on you, Netflix. You played the game well. In terms of healthcare news, third attempt. Eric Haas, Johnson & Johnson's chief litigation lawyer, said the healthcare giant is weighing the possibility of another bankruptcy filing in its attempt to deal with tens of thousands of lawsuits to its talcum powder products. If J&J goes ahead with the filing, it would be the third attempt to use bankruptcy as a way to handle talc litigation after it was beaten back twice. J&J is appealing a bankruptcy court's decision to deny its subsidiary LTL Management's filing, as the unit had shown that it was in financial distress. Haas said this argument was incorrectly applied as part of its second bankruptcy attempt. LTL had offered $8.9 billion to settle all current and future talc claims. So Johnson & Johnson in hot water. They keep trying to use bankruptcy to escape their fate, and it doesn't look like these bankruptcy courts are allowing them to do that. So we'll see, but that does not look like something that's looking positive here for Johnson & Johnson. Now that you mentioned it, I might have some baby powder over there, in the office cupboard. Maybe I'm entitled to some compensation, right? Who knows? Maybe it's worth checking into. In terms of today's markets, we got a mixed bag. In Asia, Japan, we're down 1.9%. Hong Kong, we're down 2.5%. China down 1.7%. India down 0.4%. The FTSE in London down 0.7%. Paris down 0.4%. Frankfurt flat. Dow up 0.1%. S&P up 0.1%. NASDAQ up 0.2%. Crude down 1.3%. Gold down 0.3%. Bitcoin up 0.4% to $28,487. In terms of today's economic calendar, we get initial jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. That's important. I believe we also have Powell speaking today. He speaks at noon on the economic outlook. That is important. That is likely going to be like a predetermined speech. I don't know if he'll have a live Q&A, but he's one who chooses his words very carefully. Sometimes that just results in a lot of rambling, but I feel like there might not be as much volatility with this as there would be with like a question and answer session where each answer can like cause a different move. But he is speaking, so that's important. Make sure that you know that, right? Have an alert on your trusty voice assistant, right? Whoever that is, telling them to remind you that at noon you have Powell speaking. In terms of jobless claims data here today, let's check that out here. Jobless claims. Let us see the jobless claims. All right. What do we got going on here? Tesla news. We got pre-market movers. Oh, wow. Peloton down 5.9% pre-market. That might be worth looking into. I wonder what that was a result of. Okay, jobless claims. Here we go. So U.S. initial jobless claims, actual 198K versus 209K previous, 210K estimated. So jobless claims were better than expected. That's bearish for markets, right? Jobless claims actual. So both of these, let's see here. Okay, continuing jobless claims actual was 1734, estimated was 1710. So mixed, right? Initial jobless claims better than expected. Continuing jobless claims worse than expected. It could end up being a wash overall, right? And let me see here. AMD introduces fastest AMD Radeon laptop graphics ever developed. So just some little side news there for AMD. But yeah, we've got a lot of Fed speakers today. A few different ones, but most notably Powell at noon. So just be aware of that, right? We got a lot of data coming in, things of that nature. Now, let's get back to it here with our rapid fire stock news rundown. 10-year Treasury yield hits highest level since mid-2007. Federal Reserve observes muted economic activity, according to their beige book. Disney, ticker Diz, breaks out ESPN figures in new reporting structure. Cruise, GM, and Honda to launch robo-taxis in Tokyo. Nokia, ticker NOK, reports Q3 earnings, plans up to 14,000 layoffs. Pfizer plans to more than double COVID pill Paxlovid's price. Terex's weak outlook sparks sell-off in Caterpillar and peers. Caterpillar had a big sell-off yesterday. I guess that was the result of Terex's weak outlook. And then average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage touches 23-year high. UBS analysts, Apple iPhone 15 demand looks weak. And then B of A poll, fund managers want to see lower government deficits. So that'll wrap us up, put a bow on it, and take us out here on October. Is it October? Yeah, October 19th, 2023. Let's dive into it and have another great day, everybody, right? You got 1% better. Claps on that. Now let's roll that into execution, right? Making sure that we are having this translate tangibly into the bottom line, right? And bringing home some moolah. As always, if you got any value, just show love to the account, right? We got reels posted daily over on Instagram. Make sure you check those out, especially if you struggle with the mental game of trading. A lot of these reels that I've been dropping have to deal with that because, again, If you are struggling with something that you know works, you struggle to execute or this, that, and the third, you really have to look internally to see why you struggle with that. And that was something I talked about in yesterday's reel. So make sure to check that out and make sure to have a great day, right? I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning for, I guess, our last pre-market prep session of the week. Is it? We're going into Friday already? Yep. All right. Well, much love to everybody. I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.